as best as you can remember. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Don't worry, nothing will be used against you. I won't,
that's all
you know,
right.
nothing will be released.
Maybe.
Dan, what was your full name?
Arthur Gerhard Smith.
Okay. Were you named after somebody else?
No, I think it was my uncle Gerhard, which was a plumber, Ruth's dad.
He's
Not
doing
the
as
Lord.
far as genealogy stuff.
Your Uncle Art, too.
Weren't you named after your Uncle Art?
Uncle Art too, I guess.
He's doing as far as genealogy stuff. He's got him.
Well, I'm just doing this because I want to.
He wants to continue doing.
I want to know. I want to know more about you. Did you have a nickname when you were growing up? Did you have any nicknames for
Just
your
Art.
friends?
Art.
Any of your friends?
Art is all.
They didn't call you anything else?
No, Slim.
They didn't call you
Smith?
Smitty or?
Smitty, Smith?
No,
Okay.
can't remember. Slim Jim.
Slim Jim. Did you have any nicknames when you were an adult?
I
Like
don't think so.
when you were in the Army?
Just Art.
Okay.
Sir.
How boring.
Okay. Where were you born and when?
I was born on 4112 Sarpy Avenue, October to the 26th, 1917.
Okay. What was your house like?
Well, we lived in a residence,
What's a residence?
2-story, 4112 Sarpy Avenue, a large dining room, large living room, and a extra large kitchen. We walked upstairs to,
Did you live upstairs?
we lived upstairs,
Well, that was second floor.
second floor.
Okay. Did you guys come through the main? Did your own private way in and out, or?
Oh, yes. We had a front door and a big back door. And there was a big porch over the back.
Like a
And we used
flat.
to sleep out on that porch in the summertime. On the second floor.
So now you know why I'm recording this, because I can't write down everything you said. What was your neighborhood like?
Well, it was a melting pot of the world, I guess.
What do you mean?
On Gratiot Street, there were the Irish. Most of the people that lived on there were Irish and went to St. Bernard's Church. On Sarpy Avenue would be most of the Dutch, German type people. On Clayton Avenue was more people from the Scandinavian countries like Romania, Yugoslavia, and
What was
places
that?
like
Manchester?
that. Oh, on Clayton.
Clayton.
Gratiot Street was where most of the blacks lived. And the
What street was that? Gratiot?
Gratiot.
I thought the Irish lived
No,
on Gratiot.
that's right, Papin Street.
Papin.
Papin Street. And they were left over from the Civil War days when the Sarpy Mansion was still there. Sarpy Mansion was still there, overlooking Vannevanner. And the people, the blacks that lived on Papin Street were left over from the Civil War. Them homes that they were living in, they were not too good, but they were left over from the Civil War, and a guy gave it to them. Sarpy, head of Sarpy, gave it to them.
Wow.
Each family that was living in them houses got the house.
What was your dad like? Can you describe him?
Yeah, he was small, kind of wiry type guy. Never was afraid of anything.
Yeah.
And we turned it off for a minute. Next to our residence was a large lot, and he built a beautiful playhouse for Leona, This was my sister. And we also raised chickens.
You told me this, but go ahead. I don't know.
And somebody was stealing our chickens. And so my dad waited up for one night, told him to halt, and he didn't halt. Jumped over the back fence, and I guess when he shot him, it must have been on top of the fence and fell into the alley
No, this is during the Depression though, wasn't it?
during the Depression.
Well, your father wasn't charged with murder or anything.
No.
The cops came and
He was, they came to,
So they were
the
stealing
police
their
came the
car.
next day because he died on Pappas, or I guess he did. There was a grocery store, and he died in the doorway of that store. Bled to death, I guess. But they asked him, my dad said, yeah, I shot at somebody stealing our chickens. And they said, well, we'll have to take you down and take some kind of a statement. And that was the last we heard of it.
Did he ever tell you about his childhood?
No, I can't remember.
No. Did your dad ever tell you about his childhood? About anything he did?
No.
anything, like when I was a kid,
Well, when he started to work at 14 though, didn't he?
I can't recall any of that, but I understand he did go to work real young.
Now, he worked on the railroad, right?
Yes.
He started out as a laborer on the railroad?
I don't know that. I know he ended up as a railroad engineer, got exempt from World War I because he was essential.
How long was he? How long did he work for the railroad?
Well, he also, after he was a local chairman for the engineers, something on the order of a business agent to take the grievances that the men would write down against the company. Wabash Railroad.
But he worked, I don't know what. When did he retire?
When he
Retired
got
in his
when
50s.
he when he got 65, he retired now, and that was
That was in the 50s though, wasn't it?
well. Yes, I guess it had to be, because when I came back from the service, he was was still an engineer.
He retired after your mother died, didn't he?
Yes, yeah.
So what, about 55, 50? Well, she died in 53, right? 52, 53? Did he retire right after she died, or pretty close?
I don't remember that. I don't remember exactly when, but did you say it was when he was 65?
When he was 65, that's when he retired.
So it had
Well,
to
that'd be about 55 or so. Because he was about... Did your dad have any hobbies?
playing cars.
Well, it
Well,
sounds like, I remember him, he used to build train boards for us.
yes, he built those train things. He had train sets every Christmas. Those big Lionel trains.
Yeah, your uncle's got the Lionel train.
When he was younger,
Did he have anything else?
yeah, when he was younger, he used to go out and fly off of that airfield in Forest Park with a pilot by the name of Robinson. I remember that too.
When did you start playing the violin?
I guess when he was little. But he actually played it to amuse himself. And there was some writing on the inside of that violin, and some of the violin makers thought it was an expensive violin. Burnt up in the fire.
What were some of your dad's good qualities or characteristics?
Yeah, he was a good father.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, supported the family nice. Worked all through the Depression.
Anybody was welcome at their house.
What was that, from him or from your mom? Or
From my
both?
mom and dad both. They supported a lot of the neighbors through the Depression. And everybody needed money. They came to our house. Because most of the guys couldn't get jobs, you know. And I do know that there was a lot of money passed on to these people.
So your dad was still making a pretty good living through the Depression, right?
Yes. When he was a
He was like the business agent?
yes, something on that order. General foreman, how was it called? Anyway, at that time, when they had them special meetings, he made $28 a day, which was really a lot of money.
Did he have any bad habits? Besides smoking cigars.
No. We don't have to put that in there, do we?
Okay, no, we don't. He smoked cigars, right?
Yeah.
Did he smoke anything else, like pipes or,
No. They used to have big,
well, he used to drink a lot, didn't he?
no, my dad never took a drink until after he retired.
Really?
That's right.
That's when he discovered the girls.
He had,
Well, I remember he always used to drink martinis,
yeah,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
after that, yeah, late.
Dry martinis.
Yes, after we retired, sure.
Gary,
Oh.
when he used to come to our house, and
Yeah.
when he come time got ready for supper, he'd start
Hitting
putting
his heels on
on
the floor.
Does that mean he wanted to drink?
Then
Yeah.
he wanted
He
to.
said, he was telling everybody it's time for a martini.
Okay.
They used to have a lot of the railroad people would come there and they'd have big card parties in the basement. Poker. It's poker.
I know way. He played poker too.
Well, I could play hearts. Blackjack.
What was your mom like? Describe her.
She was, took care of everybody.
No,
Anybody-
No, physically. What was she like? I mean,
She was a very pretty girl. I can remember the pictures I've, seen her when she was real young.
Really.
But she put on weight and that, as she got older, a little heavier, Snow White, I guess, from him being in the service and that,
no white hair.
yeah. Yeah.
What else?
Oh, she's just a nice person. Anybody that needed help, she was always there. Everybody in the neighborhood there were like family, to everybody. And some person would die, she was always there to help the family, you know, because everybody was buried from the house.
Now, she was born in Germany, right?
No, not his mother, was she?
My grandfather and grandmother
Okay.
were born in Germany,
Okay. Okay, she was born in St. Louis?
I guess.
Well, from what I can find out, they moved directly from Germany to here.
The grandfather,
Yeah,
yeah.
and your uncle.
Leo, oh,
Well, his family.
yeah.
Your mother's family, his, you know, your grandfather's, your great grandfather's family, when he brought them over, they all moved right here.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
But I don't think she was one of them.
No. And she was born when? About 18,
She died at the age of 62.
62. She was born about 1898 or 99, I guess.
well, she died in 1952, right? 52, 53? That's 1890, 1890,
We can look at her
1891.
stone out there.
No, you can't, well, can you tell that anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing about his dad, we had the thing engraved, gave him the correct thing. They did put it on wrong.
They put it on backwards, didn't they?
Yes, something the last
They,
two,
They made him about 10 years younger than the wife, which wasn't so, you know.
my grandfather,
And they moved and we couldn't get it corrected, you know. We couldn't find them.
couldn't find him.
So I should have had it done when,
So
when
anyway,
Ruth died, but.
Yeah.
but,
Now, did she, they always lived there. The Hirschhauses always lived in that area.
that's right. On Sarpy Avenue, yeah.
So she always lived on Sarpy Avenue.
She always did, yeah.
My grandfather, he had
Well,
the
no,
first,
tell me about him. I'll get to him later.
yeah, okay.
What, did your mom ever tell you about her childhood?
No. If she did, it was to Leona and Ruth. Ruth would have known something about it. There were other people in that family, like Louis and Charlie and Theodore. Theodore was the guy that got hurt so bad and got gassed in World War
One.
I.
Yeah.
Yes. And he lived out around Creek Car Lake. Right now, I bet I could almost take you to the place.
Can you tell me a story about your mom, that either something she did or whatever that you remember the most about her, that makes you remember her the most?
Yeah, I think it would be the way she was most generous to the neighborhood. Everybody knew her. And one lady even came over when my mom was dying of cancer to Leona's house and said I just had to come over and do something for her because she always did something for other people, you know. But she had a hard life. I'll tell you one thing they did. They made coffee cake and homemade bread every Saturday morning.
What, gave it to the neighborhood?
And a lot of the neighbors would stop by and sit in the backyard in a swing. You know, they had a swing back there, and drink coffee and eat coffee cake and bread.
And even the priest from
Priest from St. Bernard's would come up and have some Father Holwick was his name.
But they weren't Catholic, were they?
No, they were.
No.
They were evangelical, or whatever they were, yeah.
No, but St. Bernard's was right
Yeah.
down the alley. All they had to do was walk out of the alley after Mass. He'd come up there and get in on the coffee and coffee cake too, you know. Father Holwick was his name. How about that?
Did your mom have any hobbies? Well, she sewed, right?
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Did
she
she,
is.
did
Quilt,
she, did she do like your mom, work
Yeah.
on quilts and stuff?
quilt in the church, yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Oh, that's
That's
nice.
not a hobby, that's a,
Was she artistic?
Oh. Other than stone and stuff like that, you know. Made,
Was she musical or anything?
no,
She didn't play piano or anything,
No.
or
I don't remember. We had pianos. We had a big piano in the front room though.
who
But
played
I don't-
that?
Who played
Leona?
it?
Well, it was there for years. I think Leona did take piano lessons, yeah.
Was your mom a good cook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, German food. And she was very active in a singer bund before World War II, over on Shoto Avenue,
It was the cigarette butt.
a German singer bund.
What is that? Like a singing club?
Well, yes, and all the German people belong.
what is it?
Yeah, what is it?
I
What
don't
is
know,
it?
that was just
How do you spell that? Singabun?
Singer bund.
Why not
Is
spell
it
bun?
they sing, or was it like a group of women?
They sang and they had
Men
big
too, or
dances
just
there.
women?
And every spring they had a big
just
spring
like a
dance. with-
entertainment thing, you know, for,
You pulled
members.
stuff off the,
Oh, like Optimus or something like
yeah,
that?
something like that.
stuff like that. I would've-
Now, one of the singer bunts on Gravois, they used to call it the Black Forest. They were doing things against the country that they shouldn't do.
Oh, were they part of that Nazi Bund? Ah, okay.
Not the one she loved.
No, but I'm saying,
The other group, yeah.
But my mother was active with some of the relatives that lived in Germany at that time. She was active with several young people, and she helped the Friedocs. Oh my goodness! And the Friedocs, what his first name was, but Art Friedock was the oldest of their children, and he and I used to play together a lot.
but they weren't related.
But
You
they weren't related.
But they were just friends.
Friends.
Friends from Germany.
That's right.
Wasn't he the two sons that went back and got killed?
That's right. Art got killed. Yeah. They were interpreters for the German army. Yes. And when World War II broke out, because my wife had affiliations with some of these people,
Your mother?
my mother coming into Germany to get into the country, the FBI visited her. And when they found out I was already over in the Pacific,
I found a poster.
you know,
What did I say?
You want to tell us?
that was the last day. That was the last they heard of it. You know.
Oh, okay. What was her favorite meal to make?
I know every Sunday she had fried chicken.
Fried
I
chicken,
remember.
yeah. And everybody was welcome.
Oh, and she used to make spinach with cream and breadcrumbs or cracker crumbs.
Yeah, it was really good.
Art, even Art, my son, he loved it. So,
Well, my brother?
uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember if you liked
Okay.
it, because you were,
But
What? Okay. Any other favorite meals you like to make?
well, everybody was welcome there on Sunday. One real good friend of mine, Mickey Peets, would come there every Sunday, even after I was over in the Pacific.
Okay. What meal did she make that was your favorite?
I guess that fried chicken, I don't know. I guess it'd be as good as any.
Do you remember me eating a lot of German food and different
Yes.
types of German food, or?
Yes, we did.
You know, she never had a mixer, you know, like we did. She would make cakes that were that high. You wouldn't believe it. She used to beat them.
Just by heat.
And even when she had cancer, Dad, anybody that,
They made a lot of sausage in the earlier days,
like her,
and they hung the things up in the
they
basement.
didn't do anything.
Had racks,
She'd have nervous.
that they hang it up,
after the big
you know, after they were,
one.
the sausage was made, you know, to keep it cool.
It's really
You
raining.
know, this isn't bad, is it?
No,
No.
Well, did he want to do
This
this?
is bringing back some pleasant memories, isn't
Dennis
it?
remember.
Why didn't you want to do this?
oh, I didn't say I would do that.
He didn't know what he was,
Yeah, you didn't know what he was gonna do.
What did your mom do before she was married? Do you know?
Wouldn't have the slightest idea.
I think she took care of the house, Dad.
Took her mother and father, I guess.
And they were getting pretty old, I think, too, and somebody said they thought that, the mother,
Did she go to school?
who,
Did your mom go to school here?
She was very active in the public school while we were there. Mother's Club and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, but she just went to like the grade school and all that, and the high school, whatever
I guess,
she had, and
yeah.
you don't know.
I don't really know. I don't even know if it was high school.
Did your parents ever tell you how they met and fell in love?
How come?
Never did.
You never asked them?
You never asked them in their later, like when you're teenagers and all that?
I can't remember any of it.
How come people do that now and they didn't do that in
Yeah.
those days?
We tell him how we met.
Yeah.
I know this, we were one of the first ones in the neighborhood that had a radio. And it used to sit in the corner of the dining room right off the kitchen. You walked through the door and there was the radio. We used to listen to all kinds of things on the radio, which was really something high
Now, your
class.
dad had cars though, didn't he? Your dad had a car in the Depression. Which one, what did he have?
A Chandler. It was a straight 8, 4-door. Man, that motor must have been a block long, you know?
Now, that thing had to be pretty expensive for those days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. But like I said,
What other cars
what
did
was,
he have?
that I can't remember.
Oh, Chandler didn't last the whole time.
Well,
I don't
It was
know.
an American built car.
he had it late,
Oh, he had a
late
late.
in the Depression, because I even drove it.
Is that what you learned to drive on?
Yes. But we used to go to the Wabash Club, and that's Ferguson Park today. They own that big place there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, Ferguson, Wabash.
we've
Park.
been there.
Yeah. Boy, that was really big at that time, you know. Before that, and there was a way a streetcar came out there. We would go on the streetcar out there. The streetcar would turn someplace out of there. Do you remember that?
What?
Your mom and did
My
ever?
parents might have, but I don't remember it, no.
Okay.
There was no street
So
car.
you don't know how and when your parents decided to get married?
Sure don't.
Okay. What kind of place did they go for entertainment, for social life, besides the German Bund?
Well, I know we used to go up on Grand Avenue to the big shows, Missouri or the Fox. Missouri was the first one, I think, up in
One of those
the
theaters?
St. Louis Theater and the Fox. And then downtown, they had what they call rockets. I don't know if it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
low
No, I'm talking
state.
about your parents. Your parents.
No.
What'd they do for entertainment?
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's it,
We-
that was.
Oh, and then they went to the
Wait.
Lowe's State?
And then the low
that was
state
Rocket.
or the ambassador, wherever they had the rockets. And one of the girls was her mother was a good friend of my mom's. What did
I remember the
Kime,
ambassador.
what did Kime just enter my brain? Kime.
Kind?
Kime. A name, Kime.
Was it like the last name,
Yeah.
first name or something?
And I think that was
So
her
one
name.
of, one of your mother's friends, her daughter was one of the dancers?
Yeah. And the Rockettes. Yeah. Kime rings a bell as their name.
Did your parents ever read to you when you were small?
Ever what?
Read to you? Bedtime stories, nursery
Oh,
rhymes?
I'm sure of that, yeah, but
You don't
I-
remember your mom reading to you?
I remember I had to say a German prayer every night. Listen to this. Even klein mein Herz rein, even solemn wohnen an Jesus allein. And I don't know if it's even pronounced right, but it just came right back.
What special skills or talents did you think you got from your mom and dad?
Work and work hard.
You know, what used to make him mad, because he'd have to clean out the chicken.
That's my next question. What was the chore you hated to do the worst?
Well, I had to sweep the chicken yard every Saturday morning. And I'd say, boy, what a dumb thing this to do is sweep the dirt, you know?
You think you got it bad?
Yeah, you brag about taking out the trash.
Was there any chore you really liked to do?
All right.
Well, didn't they make you scrub the porches too?
Oh, sure, I had to scrub porches.
Did you like that or did you hate that?
We used to have to,
Well, now, did you like it or hate it?
well, you did it because you were told to do it. And all the windows, and then they owned a flat next door, a 2-story flat. And